theatrical agency? Well, I talked to him. You know what he told me, Papa? He told me an idea like this. If the story can stay in the papers long enough and get big enough, you know what we can get for this? 100 grand.
I don't believe this.
Well, you can read, can't you?
Anyone can send a telegram for $1.
What do you mean, anyone? It's signed. This man exists in Hollywood. Charlie told me he's a producer.
He's a fool. What is there to make a motion picture? A boy sees a criminal. He tells the police. The police arrest the criminal. Is that worth $100,000?
What do you know about it? What do you know about anything?
Papa, what are you doing?
All my life, that man never once thought I could do anything. Never! He's always put me down, always, ever since I was a kid.
Joe, please, you know Papa loves you.
Yeah, loves me. Loved me a lot more when I was 17 and I quit school. When I gave up my chance to go to college to support this family! Phil, please. Please do something for me. Keep the story alive.
What do you mean, keep it alive?
Ask the police for protection. Look, tell them you had some threats made against you and you want some protection. That ought to keep the story going a little longer.
I can't do that, Joe.
Look, accept this offer for $5,000, and you can have it, all of it, every penny. $5,000? What's that?
That's a lot of money, Joe. I want you to have it. Will you take it?
No! Phil, please. Please, let me handle this.
Joe, nobody's threatened me.
What are you being so legal about? You're not a lawyer yet, so nobody's threatening you, so who has to know that?
I can't do it, Joe. I'm sorry.
All right, now, wait a minute. Now, wait 1 minute. How do you know you're not in danger right now? Right this minute, huh? How do you know? You know, Shamali's was no 3 for a nickel hood. He's big time. A lot of guys around here owe him favors. A lot of guys would be very, very happy to put you, me, and Papa right in the grave just so they can get a handshake from Lou Shamali's. Now, look, kid, I know those hoods. I see them around the garment center. Where they spit, nothing grows. They wouldn't think that much of putting a slug in you for Lou Shamali's. Now, get on that phone and ask the police for 24-hour protection.
Don't do that, Philip. This brother of yours is a foolish and a wicked man. If a threat is made, we'll go to the police. But don't lie to them just to make him a big shot.
All right. All right. This is the last time I set foot in this house. You hear that, old man? The last time! I don't ever want to see your face again! Never!
City room. Mr. Alexander on 2.
Hello. I got a message you called. This is Joe Regania.
Oh, yeah. I called up this morning to speak to Phil, and your father answered, but wouldn't call him to the phone. Said he had nothing to say, so I called you.
Well, what is it you want, Mr. Alexander?
Well, we're doing a follow-up story on the reward. That's why I called.
Follow-up story?
Yeah, what's your brother going to do with the reward money? Hey, you there?
Yeah. Listen, my brother and my father are sitting on something much more important than what they were going to do with $1,700 bucks. When can I see you?
Well, come on down to the Bulletin. I'll be here all evening.
Look, I don't want to be seen walking into the building. Is there any place else we can meet?
All right, there's a place across the street called Parnell's. Meet me there at 8 o'clock, okay?
Parnell's. I got it.
Hi, Tom.
Dominic, my boy, there's a gentleman back there waiting to see you.
Yeah, I know, thanks.
Call it the flags, but it's interesting.
Well, I'm glad to see you boarded. I'm having dinner. You want to join me?
We've gotten a word.
Oh, yeah? About what?
They're gonna knock one or all of us off for tipping the cops about Shamali's.
You mean your life's been threatened? Well, how? Did someone call you up or what?
No, this note. It was wrapped around a brick that came sailing through my father's store window.
When this happened?
Tonight?
Have the police done anything about it?
Yeah. I reported a broken window. They said too bad.
Care to order something?
Yeah, Tom, let me have a beer, huh? Well, this note, it's pretty plain. What'd they say about that?
Well, my old man is scared stiff, and Phil's just a kid. Neither one of them admit there was a note. Just a brick. You've got to get the cops to protect us.
Well, show them the note.
I'm scared to. I'm in this as deep as I want to be. You're a newspaper man. Maybe you can get after him. There have been other threats.
What kind of threats?
Phone calls. We've all been getting them. Papa, Phil, me, all hours of the night. Papa won't talk about them, and he won't let Phil talk about them. To anyone. Please, Mr. Alexander, you got to do something. I mean, if you put the story in the paper, maybe the cops will work on it. They won't take me seriously. They're still sore at me for grabbing the credit from Jack Clifford.
And the police confirmed the broken window, right, Logan?
That's right.
You know, one brick through a window doesn't mean a gangland killing, Nick.
What about the note?
People who write notes are note writers, not killers. Logan, look. I'm going to do a piece on this threat note. Now, to protect us with the department, you better get a statement from the commissioner's office to go with it.
So far as I'm concerned, they don't have to protect me. It's Phil I'm worried about.
Yeah, Shamali's had a lot of friends.
Had. Still has. Are you kidding? You know how much money he's writing on a guy that gets my brother? You could probably retire on that for life.
For that kind of dough, you'd knock him off yourself, Joe, huh?
Yeah, that's not so funny. I'd like to see you guys in our shoes.
You know something? He's right. I wouldn't want to be in Phil Roganion's shoes.
Ah, he's a fink. And he deserves whatever he gets.
You know, whoever knocks him off will be sitting pretty.
You think he could get some bouts?
Some bouts?
Yeah. Maybe even main events.
Hey, come on, Tiger. You're kidding, ain't you?
No. No, I ain't kidding, Barry.
Hey, listen. Want to know something? The guy who knocks off Phil Roganion can write his own ticket. Bounce, dame,
No kidding, Tiger. He'd be a big man. Shamali's got a lot of contacts who'd grease the way along for him.
Hey, chair.
Contacts. You gotta have the contact.
Tell me, hasn't the police department got something better to do with you? For 3 days and 3 nights now, I've been with nothing but police.
What's the matter, Pop? You don't like me anymore? Hey, where you going?
I'm just gonna drop this stuff out in the alley.
Please, let him go. Leave him alone.
I'll be back in a minute.
You know, seriously, with all the crime they've got in this city, you would think they could find something more important for you to do.
Hello, Philly.
Hello, Tiger. You surprised me.
Can I help you out? Hey, Philly, you know I'm a good fighter, huh?
Yeah, one of the best.
Yeah. I just got some bad breaks. I had a bad doctor. He was a bad doctor. Everybody said so. And he said I wouldn't heal, but he was wrong. I'm all healed now, Philly. Look at this.
You look great, Tiger. Great.
Yeah, I still got the combinations. I got the straight jab, the hard left. I got everything. You see it, Philly, huh?
You got it, Tiger. Every bit of it.
Yeah. I learned from my last dozen fights what I was doing wrong. I was telegraphing my punches. See? I used to tip my head right before I throw the left. And that's wrong, see, because the other guy, he watches your eyes. And when he sees a move, he knows you're going to throw a left, so he blocks it, he counterpunches.
Well, you cleared all that up, Tiger. Every bit of it.
Yeah. And with the right handler and trainer, and I get the right box for the right guys, it's all in the contacts, you know.
Sure it is, Tiger. Sure.
In the fight business, it's the contacts you have. You gotta have the contacts.
Sure. I know, Tiger.
I got the hands for it. I'm strong. Very strong, Philly. And I ain't old. I'm only 33 years old, Philly. That ain't old. Some of the champs were older than that. I like you, Philly. Believe me. It's just the contacts. You don't want to be mad at me. I ain't mad at you. I gotta have those contacts. What I mean, I need the brain. I need it. I need it.
How long was he out there?
I don't know how long he was outside. Maybe 5, 10 minutes. Lieutenant, it couldn't have been any longer than that.
Did either of you hear anything?
No.
No cries for help? No ash cans being turned over, nothing like that? Where were you?
Right here, talking with Mr. Roganian. We both saw the boy go outside just to throw away some empty cartons.
When he was a little boy. When he was a little boy. He was beautiful.
We don't think this is a gangland vengeance killing, as some papers call it. Chimales has been a lone wolf for many years. And most of his associates and pals are dead or in prison. Now, as to the charge of negligent or sloppy police protection, we're making available to you a schedule of the round-the-clock protection given to the Roganian family, and we think it will answer the charge fully. Now, I want to introduce Dr. Walter Felixson, head of the Department of Psychology of the State University and consulting psychiatrist to this police department for the past 20 years. Doctor?
Thank you, Commissioner. Gentlemen, I have written a complete report, an abstract of which will be available to you on your way out. But in order to sum up my theory in the simplest manner, so that you won't have any trouble with the abstract, Philip Roganian was beaten to death, and beaten to death by a man's fists. Now, generally speaking, criminals do not rely on their fists, but use blunt instruments. Lengths of pipe, blackjacks, brass knuckles, and so forth. There are complex reasons for this preference, which I won't go into at the moment. But you may take my word for it, this is not the work of a criminal or a professional killer.
What sort of a man was he?
Broadly speaking, a disturbed personality, a suggestible person.
What do you mean by suggestible?
Well, let's take the story which first appeared in one of the papers. The Bulletin, I believe, was the only paper that carried it. This was the paper that first made headlines with the story of the threats against the lives of the Roganian family.
Are you saying that the story was responsible for the death of Philip Roganian?
Are you the reporter from the Bulletin?
Yeah, Nick Alexander was my story.
No, Mr. Alexander. I do not mean to imply that your story was responsible for the death of Philip Roganian. I'm merely saying that the publicity, which came about because of the threats to the family, may have suggested to an unbalanced mind a course of action.
Why do you believe the killer's unbalanced?
The pattern of blows. Examination of the body tells us that Philip Roganian died of a brain hemorrhage brought about by blows to the head. The coroner is reasonably certain that it was one of the first blows to the head that killed him. And only a demented person would continue to strike.